He doesn't talk much, but when the cage door closes, his opponents find out exactly why he's feared. This man didn't just beat legends, he ended their reigns, shattered their confidence, and changed the course of UFC history. Let's break down why Ilia Topuria is the scariest fighter in the UFC today. Scariest fighter. Ilia Topuria isn't just another name on the UFC roster, he's a walking nightmare for anyone who steps inside the octagon with him. With a relentless fighting style, destructive power, ironclad self-belief, and a resume that already includes dethroning two of the greatest featherweights in MMA history, Alexander Volkanovski and Max Holloway, Topuria has redefined dominance in modern MMA. In just a few short years, he has gone from a promising prospect to a dual-division destroyer, capturing the UFC featherweight and lightweight titles and rising to number one in the pound-for-pound rankings. He's not just winning, he's making elite fighters look mortal, and that's what makes him terrifying. A warrior forged in two nations. Ilia Topuria was born on January 21st, 1997 in Germany to Georgian parents, later moving to Spain, countries both of which he proudly represents in the UFC. From his early years, Topuria was immersed in combat sports. Originally pursuing Greco-Roman wrestling, he later found his footing in Brazilian jiu-jitsu and eventually transitioned into MMA. This multidisciplinary foundation makes him a rare hybrid of power, precision, and calculated aggression. What's frightening about Ilia is not just his skill set, it's how seamlessly he blends them. Whether the fight goes to the ground or stays on the feet, Topuria is in control, and his confidence in either domain is lethal. The rise begins. Topuria made his UFC debut on short notice against Youssef Zalal in October 2020. With barely any time to prepare, he stepped in and showcased a well-rounded game that earned him a unanimous decision victory. Just 2 months later, he faced Damon Jackson and knocked him out cold in the first round, making it clear he wasn't just a grappler, he could crack too. In July 2021, Topuria faced Ryan Hall, a fighter known for his dangerous submission game. Most opponents avoid the ground with Hall at all costs. Topuria, he dove in headfirst, defended expertly, and finished Hall with brutal ground and pound in the very first round. He wasn't just winning, he was doing it against specialists, guys who were known for one elite skill and beating them at their own game. Featherweight rampage. Ilia's rise through the featherweight division was unstoppable. From knocking out Jai Herbert in a comeback performance in March 2022 to submitting grappling ace Bryce Mitchell in December that same year, he showed time and time again that no matter what his opponents brought to the cage, he had an answer, and a violent one at that. Against Josh Emmett in June 2023, Topuria put on a striking clinic. He used shoulder rolls, counter-punches, and precise combinations to pick apart the heavy-hitting veteran. It wasn't just a win, it was a performance that had people talking about future title contention, dethroning a legend. Everything changed at UFC 298. On February 17th, 2024, Topuria finally got his title shot against Alexander Volkanovski, a man who had not lost at featherweight in over a decade and was considered by many to be one of the greatest pound-for-pound fighters of all time. But Topuria didn't just beat him, he ended Volkanovski's 4-year reign as champion with a thunderous second-round knockout. The timing, the footwork, the sheer power, it was surgical violence. The MMA world stood still. A new king had arrived. For most fighters, winning a title would be the pinnacle. For Ilia, it was just the beginning, making history against Holloway. After Volkanovski, the UFC gave him another monster test. Former champion Max Holloway, known for his granite chin, relentless pace, and striking volume, Holloway had never been knocked out in his career, until Ilia Topuria. At UFC 308 on October 26, 2024, Topuria did what no one else could. He knocked Max Holloway out in the third round, delivering the first KO loss of Max's illustrious career. Once again, it wasn't just the win, it was the how that left fans and analysts stunned. With that performance, Ilia cemented himself as the scariest man in the featherweight division. At the move up. By early 2025, Topuria had nothing left to prove at 145 pounds. Citing weight cut difficulties and a desire for fresh challenges, he vacated the featherweight title and moved up to lightweight permanently. His lightweight debut came against none other than Charles Oliveira, the former UFC lightweight champion and submission leader in UFC history. On June 28, 2025 at UFC 317, the two collided for the vacant title. What happened? Topuria knocked him out at 227 of the first round. Just like that, he became the 10th fighter in UFC history to win titles in 2 weight classes, and he made it look easy. A style built for destruction. Ilia Topuria's fighting style isn't just well-rounded, it's weaponized. Every aspect of his game is designed to break his opponent's rhythm, confidence, and will to compete. He doesn't just beat fighters, he dismantles them. Here's how. Constant pressure. One of Topuria's most defining traits is the suffocating pace he puts on his opponents. From the opening bell, he advances with calculated aggression, pushing his adversaries backward and taking away their ability to implement their own strategies. By maintaining forward pressure and constantly threatening with both strikes and takedowns, he corners elite fighters like Alexander Volkanovski, Max Holloway, and Charles Oliveira, men known for setting their own pace, and forces them into defensive mode. This kind of pressure does more than just exhaust the body, it drains the mind. Opponents spend more time reacting than thinking, constantly bracing for what's coming next. Topuria uses footwork to cut off escape angles and keeps his foes boxed in, where his power shots become even more dangerous. He doesn't give you room to breathe, let alone strike. Crisp, devastating striking. Topuria's striking is both technical and brutal. Inspired by Mexican boxing legend Canelo Alvarez, Ilia targets the body early with vicious punches, wearing down opponents and forcing them to drop their guard. Once that happens, he shifts his assault to the head, delivering clean hooks, sharp uppercuts, and overhands that carry knockout power. His shot selection is precise. He's not throwing wild punches, he's calculating angles and openings. In addition to his hands, Ilia mixes in sharp calf kicks to destabilize opponents, slow their movement, and keep them within range. This multifaceted striking game, combined with his pressure, makes it incredibly difficult to mount a counter-offensive. Ironclad confidence. Confidence is Topuria's invisible weapon. He walks into every fight with a calm certainty that he will win. This unwavering belief isn't just talk, it's backed by years of dominance across multiple styles and divisions. He's spoken openly about dreaming of Olympic gold in wrestling and venturing into boxing's highest levels, and with each performance, those dreams seem more realistic. His mindset allows him to remain composed under pressure, take risks, and impose his will regardless of the opponent. This self-belief not only fuels his performances, it mentally unravels his opponents. Elite wrestling and takedown defense. A lifelong practitioner of Greco-Roman wrestling, Topuria has developed a deep grappling arsenal. He excels in clinch exchanges, throws, and trips. More importantly, his wrestling background gives him superb takedown defense. He can neutralize elite grapplers like Bryce Mitchell with ease and keep the fight in his realm of control. Dangerous jiu-jitsu. Ilia isn't just capable on the ground, he's dangerous. As the first Georgian black belt in BJJ, he combines positional awareness with aggressive submissions and heavy ground and pound. Against submission specialists like Ryan Hall, he remains composed, neutralizes threats, and capitalizes on every opening. Whether it's a choke, armbar, or pounding elbows, Topuria is lethal on the mat. In short, Ilia Topuria is a complete fighter, and a terrifying one. A fighter without weaknesses. What makes Topuria truly scary is that he has no glaring weakness. Most fighters have at least one area of vulnerability. Topuria? He can strike, he can wrestle, he can submit you, and he can take a punch. He has cardio, power, technique, and fight IQ. His ability to switch stances, counter effectively, and adapt mid-fight makes him a nightmare to prepare for. He's dangerous in round 1, and even more dangerous if you're still standing in round 5. The pound-for-pound king. As of July 1st, 2025, Ilia Topuria is ranked number 1, first in the UFC's pound-for-pound rankings. That's not just a number, it's a warning. The scariest part of all? He's only 28 years old. He's just getting started. Topuria has already dismantled legends and former champions, and he's done it with a cold, calculated approach that leaves no room for error. Who's going to stop him? Right now, nobody has the answer. The era of El Matador. In an era where flashy talkers often overshadow skilled technicians, Ilia Topuria is a refreshing and terrifying force. He doesn't need theatrics, his fists do the talking. With every performance, he sends a clear message to the rest of the UFC. There are levels to this game, and he's on a different one entirely. If you enjoyed this breakdown of the most dangerous force in the UFC today, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe for more deep dive fight content,